an interesting exhibit. This exhibit basically describes how the Navan arenas came to existence. Navan arenas go back to 1952, and this is the third Navan arena on this exact site. Same ice surface actually, although now it's artificial. There's some pictures here that are very interesting. If you can see where they actually first had to log off some of the area, and there was a bush lot not too far from here, just across on Trim Road, on the west side of Trim Road, where George Shaw donated the wood lot for the wood and the lumber for the very first rink. In 1953, it officially opened. February 20th, 1953, they had a special game to commemorate the official opening of the new rink. Russell League All-Stars, which had several Navan players on it, and they versus the Inkerman Rockets, played on February 20th, 1953. And it was a very important game because those Inkerman Rockets were very popular in their time. They were a very strong and very competitive team. So they actually won the game, believe it or not, by 1 goal. And there's the roster for that team, the Inkerman Rockets and the Russell All-Stars, and Bob Burns played that, and of course the McFadden brothers, Ken, Bill, and Basil, all played on that team. Now, sadly enough, what happened in February 20th, 1953, by November 1st, 1953, there was a tragic happening where the entire arena burned to the ground on November 1st, 1953. The town was devastated. People were down, and you can see some of the pictures in the newspapers. These were in the front pages of the Citizen. They were in great despair, knowing full well how much work went into the Navan Arena to start this in 1952 and 53. But not to be defeated, the Navan community rallied once again and brought together with the efforts of fundraisers, community, the Lions Club, and through many other fundraisers. They were able to dust themselves off and build another arena on the exact same site, and that was the arena that was officially opened in 1955. And it was typically the same type of arena with the hall upstairs, and the hall played such an important part, of course, throughout this whole history, because the hall was the center point for most weddings, snags, special events, events like this today, and so on. So it wasn't just the rink. We're talking about a hall that played a very important part. Now in 1982, once again, Navan was faced with having to look at building a new arena because with all the moisture that occurs from the rink and so on, wood does rot. And eventually they had to condemn the arena for safety reasons. And on January 1982, coincidentally, I played the last hour in that rink in the Old Timers League that I was playing in. So having it condemned was a sort of a sad moment for people in the community, but at the same time they knew that they were going to be able to rebuild, and right away started on that same wave of community support to build the new rink, and which then later on opened in the following year. So it was another effort again that brought everyone together and brought the community out in full force, and there's no doubt that they had no doubt in their mind that there was going to be another arena regardless. Whether there was money available or not, they found ways to make money through fundraisers, through efforts of their own, because a lot of the work was volunteer. And at that time, Ontario played a part in the new rink, and also they matched dollar for dollar for certain labor that was used to people volunteered to demolish the old one and to build a new one. So that's history, and of course there's some interesting other parts of history that was mentioned. The clock that used to be in the old rink was handcrafted and designed by Bruce Dawson and Eldon Kinsella. There's a picture of Bruce Dawson by the time clock, and there's a whole story goes with it. It's quite a history in its own because of the effort that went into it. It was homemade, but it was very accurate according to all records, and you had to change the score by lifting out a number and placing another number in. And a lot of times kids would get that job, and as a reward they would get in the game free. Just get away from, don't be in the way for the puck when it comes up that high. The arena stands for so many things. The arena has been, like I say, the center hub for many activities in the community. It also was here where Garrett Lowe started the skate-a-thon back in 1985 to raise money for CHEO. And over the years, 15 to 16 years, they raised over $152,000 for CHEO. And I remember that one well because I did participate in that and skated the 24 hours. And there were 4 of us left by the end of that. But it was quite a challenge, but it was all rewarding because that skate-a-thon alone raised over $11,000 just on that particular night, 24 hours. So yeah, it's just about hockey. It's about community. It's about community spirit. It's about raising money with a facility that's so important to this community and have an arena and a hall and so on.